28 seconds.
27.
26.
25 seconds.
24. 23.
22 seconds.
21 seconds.
20 seconds.
19.
18.
17 seconds.
16.
15 seconds.
14.
13 seconds.
12.
11.
10 seconds. 9.
8.
7.
6. Copy.
5 seconds.
3. 2. 1.
Welcome to Subspace Chapter, folks. Today is a special broadcast discussing the cancellation recently announced of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which will conclude after its second season. It's filmed its second season already, but it hasn't been filmed. It hasn't been shown yet. And joining me today is a group of experienced fellow instructors. Let's introduce ourselves.
I guess I'll go. I'm Lieutenant Commander Eve Zellick with the Starfleet Fandom Academy as the director of the College of Music.
And I'm Michelle. I've been a fan since the late 80s, early 90s, and have watched most of the series apart from maybe one or two.
So, do you recall like how you found out the news of the cancellation?
I think I found it on like a Google link or something to Variety. And I thought, surely this is not true.
I was
Sometimes you can't read everything you hear in the press.
I was working my night job and somebody came up to me and said that dumb Star Trek you're always going on about got canceled. And he was quoting that he saw it on the giant freaking robot site. So I said I'd just look it up when I get home because that site I know tends to be not always the most accurate. But that's how I found out, was basically getting picked on. So
I guess it's sobering, somber news. But there's been some fans saying like they kind of expected it. Would you say that you did, like half expected it maybe, or did it completely take you by surprise?
I kind of expected it, to be honest, not to be a pessimist, but we've been getting increasingly negative backlash about the shows, especially from some of the really old school diehards who don't want Star Trek to change, which is why we have Strange New Worlds. And I'm not picking on Strange New Worlds because it's a good show, but Strange New Worlds literally was made just to placate the older fans who want the good old days. But I kind of saw this one coming because one, I think, like I said before in the group chat, they've kind of gone Disney on this, where Disney got the Star Wars property, for instance, and then all of a sudden they're pumping out Star Wars this left, right, and center, and it started out okay. And then we got things like the Mandalorian Babysitters Club. And I think that they, like Star Wars, they didn't pick a direction and go with it. They went in too many directions all at once. And that now there's the backlash to go along with that. I think it was a case of there's the idea of taking the idea and running with it. They didn't just take the idea and run with it. They took the idea and, carpet bombed entertainment with it type idea. New Star Trek, new Star Trek, new Star Trek, new Star Trek, and they were all different.
Did it surprise you, Michelle?
Well, having read a lot of the comments you see online, and it was all from haters, part of me says, no, I'm not surprised, but part of me was still surprised to hear it. It was like saying, well, could have at least given it a chance. One season, 2 seasons is just not enough to develop a story. You need more.
Especially with the shorter seasons now.
Yeah. And also, a franchise can't go on for 60 years without adapting to changing times. If it stands still, it dies. So maybe some of the haters who want things the way they were in the 80s and 90s should start thinking about that.
And when season 2 airs, would you like it to end with like a quite a closed off ending, or would you prefer it to end with a cliffhanger, perhaps?
I'd rather go closed off ending. I have my own suspicion, which is that they may have gone into writing season 2 with the threat of cancellation over their heads, in which case they probably would make it wrap up nicely with a bow, or at least give themselves an out, like Babylon 5 was written, where each character had an out in their storyline, so that if the actor wanted to leave or for whatever reason, they could out and it wouldn't ruin the show. So I have to wonder, because this one had hate from the get-go. It had hate from the very first trailers. So I wonder if they maybe wrote it thinking that, yeah, this could be it. And so they wouldn't leave it as a cliffhanger, because who knows if you'll pick that up again.
How would you like it to end, Michelle?
I can kind of see Eve's viewpoint, but a cliffhanger would also be quite nice, because someone might pick it up for like a movie or something in the future. So you can't please everybody.
What's interesting, and I think like I would like either way. I think like a cliffhanger would be cool. To give lots of room for like comics or novels, stuff like that to go and be a continuation. But I guess in a way they sort of did something perhaps similar with Voyager's ending, where like you don't see them actually return onto being down to Earth. They just have it in their sights, as it were. Which I know like some fans have felt like frustrated by that at times. Also, like after the second season, would you like how do you think the deaths might return?
That's a hard one, because you wouldn't want to let it go too long. Because look at what's happened with the JJ verse movies. One of the big things that's holding them back now at this point is it's been how many years since the last one of those movies, and even the actors have pointed out it might not work to come back for them after so many years. It might be a little too difficult. Sure, they managed to pull that off with the original Trek movies, and even that had a couple of stinkers like 1 and 5, but they may not be able to pull that off in this day and age, because people want things now. They want it right now. They don't want to wait. They're not going to sit around. They're not going to want a big gap. So if somebody were to, they'd have to pick it up pretty quickly, especially because actors age, and the actors are young now, but there's only so long they could conceivably portray cadets and it be convincing.
Yeah.
You're frozen, Dan.
Yeah.
Am I frozen?
Now you're not, yeah, but you were.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been thinking about how like I think I really enjoyed like modern Star Trek, like all Star Trek television programming, but also like I've been getting into the short stories like in these books, Strange New Worlds, and there's lots of different short stories. Whether it's like there's ones called New Voyages that were written in the 60s or 70s. There's ones that were written for Star Trek Explorer magazine in the like 2000s. I think like there's lots of other ones in very many anthologies, lots of novels, of course, lots of comics, lots of graphic novels, so much Star Trek storytelling, and that's not even to begin with, to go back to the original series of Star Trek, the animated series in the 1970s, the movies, all the films, of which there were like 13, like The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, all of those, like, there's such a legacy to Star Trek, and there's so much we can enjoy and so much so much goodness we can get from exploring the franchise in different ways. Whether it's like enjoying the stories, or whether it's cosplay, or there's such a range of things in the ways that you can celebrate Star Trek. That's why I'm really thankful for the franchise for what it is. We hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be back on Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and 10 p.m. UK time. We'll be starting reviews of Star Trek Enterprise episodes, because, as I said, that is one of those legacy shows that we can enjoy, that are besides like the new modern Star Trek storytelling.
And Enterprise needs some love.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so we hope you can join us for that. If you have enjoyed this video, and hopefully you have, and it was just supposed to be a short broadcast to talk about the news of the cancellation of Starfleet Academy, please click the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope that you enjoyed the rest of Star Trek, however long it's to go for. It's as Michelle said, it has been out for 60 years already. It's got such a long, legacy so far.
Nobody
Track
stays
later.
dead in the Star Trek universe, so I don't think Star Trek can stay dead in ours. The great koala will not allow it.
Yeah. Live long and prosper.